But what is the best way to activate the law of attraction into your life to make it benefit you and serve you and others?
We have to understand that the law of attraction inwardly means that you are radiating into your life something that you're feeling already. Okay? So the best way to do, one of the best ways to do that is to think of moments in your life where you felt loved, safe, and that all of your needs were met. And if you cannot think of such moments, you imagine what those moments would feel like. Because the body doesn't know the difference. The mind doesn't know the difference between your imagination and a memory. So you hold that space. All of my needs are met. I'm loved and supported. I'm safe. You hold that space. And as you learn to hold that space every single day, then that space is radiating out from you. So a law of attraction emanates from the law of radiation. You're radiating it out. And then that radiance is acted upon by the law and brings into your life opportunities, people, conditions will change, because as we said earlier, everything is vibration.
Yes.
So the vibration, if something is condensed, something negative in your life, it's really condensed, it's intractable, it will speed up and transmute itself and become an opening, an opportunity. But people are waiting for something good to happen before they feel better. No, you have to feel better first.
Yes,
and
love
then
this.
something good happens.
Wow.
That's the work you do. So if you're sitting and you're doing your visualization, you're sitting, you're doing your visioning, you're sitting and you're doing your feeling tonality about the good that's already here, gratitude, gratitude. Your vibration starts to change, and then you start to see things come into your life. Now understand this, many of them are already there.
Wow.
But you can't see it.
Yes.
Because you're only focusing on what you're afraid of. You're only focusing on a worst case scenario. Oh, if this bad thing happens, then I'll never be able to be successful, whatever. But now what are you focusing on? You're focusing on I am and I have. I am and I have. Now there's a law in the scripture that says, to he or she who has, more is given. To he or she who has not, even that which they have shall be taken away.
I read that in the Gospel of Thomas, I think.
That's a law.
I love
It's
that.
not personal.
I love that.
But if you're walking around feeling that you have something, the universe says, bam, you got something. If you're walking around feeling, I don't have anything, the universe says, bam, you don't have anything.
Yeah.
It's like gravity, it's not personal. Like I said in The Secret, you fall off a building, it's not personal.
No, yeah, this is so...
This is just law. So the ideal is we want to use the law for higher purposes for our life until it starts to use us. After a while, you're just in the flow, and it's become such a part of you that minor miracles take place in your life because you're just in the flow. I call it flow motion.
Flow motion.
Flow motion. I do sound effects sometimes.
No, I love sound effects. Me too. Everything, like, so when I was playing pickleball the other day, it's like a form of tennis. I didn't even know it existed. I thought it was like some kind of pickle jar that you ate. I thought someone was joking with me, and it's actually a sport. So like, I'm hitting the ball, but now I come up to the net, and then everyone says, when you play, you turn into this cute little Japanese Harajuku, because I start hitting the ball, but when I do it, I say pow, and then I say bang, and I just make the sound of what I want the ball to do.
Right.
And the ball does exactly what I do.
It's vibration. That's your word.
Yes.
Sometimes words are limiting, so we have to use sound effects. So I do that.
Yes, I agree.
I have sound effects when I speak. It just comes out that way.
God, so beautiful.
Boom. I'll clap.
Yes.
This is happening.
Yes. Now, I agree. Yeah, sound effects are so, I love watching you speak because, you're so animated and passionate, and you're one of the biggest motivational speakers on planet Earth. You're one of the most uplifting speakers. If you guys haven't seen, you need to come to Agape Sunday in Beverly Hills at the Agape Center. It is powerful. It is mind-blowing. It is change. It literally, from watching, you can watch online as well if you're not, not in LA.
AgapeLive.com. You just go watch it.
Yeah, go watch it. You can literally tune in, and this is, Yeah, a very transformative place. I want to go on to life visioning because it's really, I love the way that, and I'm reading a transformative process for activating your unique gifts and highest potential. Does somebody want to raise their highest potential today? Okay, tell us one of the things in the book that helps someone to activate their highest potential.
Okay. In the life visioning process, there's a meditation we go into, and then there's like 5 questions you ask. So one of the questions we ask is, after we catch the vision and learn to articulate it, without vision, the people perish. So we learn to catch vision and articulate it. Then we ask, what is it that I must become in order to manifest this vision? You cannot have anything you're not willing to become in consciousness.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Because people can manipulate and get stuff, but they'll lose it. A thief will always be stealing. You know what I mean? Because they can't hold it because they don't have it inside. So we ask, what is it that I must become in consciousness in order to manifest this vision? And then as I ask that question, I start to get where I need to grow. Where's my growing edge? Where do I need to change? Where do I need to expand? And then we work with that a little bit. And then we ask, what is it that I already have that can be in service to the vision? Now, as we just said, if I begin to operate from having and being, then things flow into my life. So I'm not operating from lack. So we start to comb our awareness and find our resources that we have in our life, our gifts that we may be sitting on, things like that. So now I'm operating from having.
Wow.
Okay, those are the first 2 questions, the first 3. The first question is about what is the vision? The next question is, what can I now let go of that no longer serves me? In other words, something may have served me 5 years ago.
Yes.
May have been a compulsive behavior, maybe a defense mechanism. It may have been the conversations that I was in, habits that don't serve me today. What can I let go of that no longer serves me? It's not a guilt-inducing exercise. It's just an awareness exercise. Then from there, we go into willingness. We wrap our attention around being willing, because where there's willingness, there's a way. If there's willfulness, there's a wall. You create a vibrational wall. So I bring people into a state of anything you tried new, you had to be willing.
Yes.
Even if you didn't know how to do it.
Yeah.
But you were willing to do it.
Yes.
So willingness is power. So I combine willingness with vision. What must I become?
Yes.
What do I already have? What can I let go of? We become willing, and then the universe takes over. And you start to dream it. You start to have moments of something's telling me to go left. Why should I go left? I don't know why I should go left.
Intuition.
You follow, you end up meeting the person you were supposed to meet that you didn't even know. If you had gone right, you wouldn't have met her or him. Things just start to work out because you're in the flow of your vision.
Wow.
So it's transformational. It's not just, I want the car.
Yes.
You know, because sometimes people want the car. Nothing wrong with getting the car. But after a couple of months, you know, the car's old. You know, you want inner transformation and the car.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%. I always say to people, you don't actually want the $1 million. What you want is what the $1 million does for you.
Absolutely.
It's the freedom that you feel.
Yes.
The enlightened moment that you did it,
Yes.
that you feel happy and elevated. So you're seeking answers to what your soul is calling out for.
And now you're free to actually live the life that you're ordained to live, to give the gifts, to share your being.
Yes.
And then the more you give, the more you have. The more you give of yourself. Like the more you teach, the more you know. Because as you start teaching, you start to learn while you're teaching. You start learning different ways of saying it, nuances. You start getting new information. The teacher learns more than the student because you're in the flow of giving the information. So as you're living this life as a giver, as an individual that's sharing gifts, the hands of the givers are never empty. It's only the hands of those who are stingy and trying to hold on and hoard that end up losing.
So true.
You see, so we're in the process of teaching people how to catch a vision, how to be their real self, and then share it. Be in the world, give of yourself totally and completely, and then watch as you will attract everything that you need to keep going to the next level of your life.
And that can be anything. You could be any role. You can be in a community, working in charity. You could be working in the home. You could be working in a small business. It doesn't matter, does it, what you're doing?
No, it's the energy behind what you're doing. Mother Teresa would say something like, there's no big or little, you know, it's the intention that you put into whatever you're doing. You can change a life. You know, I remember when I was attending USC, I always remember this. There was a woman that was coming out of the financial aid office.
Yeah.
She was very frustrated. She said they were giving her a runaround. She couldn't get her money. So she dropped her books on the sidewalk and she was going to drop out of school. So I walked up to her. I said, how can I help you? You know? And she told me this story. And I said to her, how many years before you graduate? And she said, 2. And I said, 4 semesters. I just said 4 semesters. She said, 4 semesters. She went back into the financial aid office, got her money, graduated. I never saw this woman again for about 5-7 years. I saw her in the Bodhi Tree. It was a bookstore that used to be here in Los Angeles. And she comes walking up to me. I didn't remember her. She said, oh, you changed my life. I said, what? And she said, you helped me with my books and you shifted my perception from, I don't have any money and I got 2 years to graduate to, I just have 4 semesters. It just changed my whole life. I've always wanted to thank you. Now, I didn't know that. You know what I mean? I was just giving her my full attention and trying to help. I put my full energy into it. It changed her life. We don't know how we're going to impact somebody's life.
Yes.
5, 6, 7 years later, I realized just stopping and helping this person helped her graduate, you know, from school. So
that is such a beautiful and powerful story. And you're right, because we could smile at somebody on the street today. We could just do a kind deed for somebody in need today.
Right.
And that need is met. And then they feel uplifted. And then they go home, and I call it my candle effect. You've lit their candle,
right.
And then they go and light the next person's candle, and so on.
Right.
You light the whole world up,
right.
From one deed.
One deed spreads a wildfire of love.
I love that.
Wildfire of love.
That's all we need to do, because we are all pure love and pure joy. Even if it seems like someone is not choosing that today. If someone is upsetting you today and doing something bad, I always say to myself, it's okay. Ultimately, they are pure love and joy. Even if it's not the story that they are choosing right now,
right.
They are still love and joy. And let me send them more love and joy and hope that they'll come out of this phase.
Yeah, they will eventually come out at some point. We cannot force open the egg. We can't force open the chrysalis to pull the caterpillar out. We can just hold the space. It's time, but we can send love, we can send peace, and then we can begin to dissolve our own frustration because they're not being who we want them to be in that moment.
How do you dissolve your own frustration?
The breath is a good talisman. Sometimes you just have to, as you were doing before we started, you know, you just have to do. God bless.
Just taking a beautiful
You
breath.
take a breath, and then sometimes you can ask, you know, what is it that they're doing that's triggering me? What within me is uncomfortable? Am I feeling? Have I lost my inner authority? Am I feeling less than? Is there something in my life that isn't healed that they're activating? Because they may not have implanted that in me, but they're activating it. So I begin to just look within to see why that's disturbing me. And I may bump into something that I need to heal in myself.
Wow.
And then if I begin to ask the right questions around that, I can be free, and then they can do the exact same thing. It doesn't bother me.
Because now you've removed what was causing you to feel triggered by it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's powerful.